Welcome to a review of the new apps on the fx-CG100. In this video, we will demonstrate features of Graph&Table and Numeric Inequality. To start, we will look at drawing this cubic function. Enter Graph&Table to display the function editor screen. This is where up to 20 functions to be drawn are stored. The default is y equals, with the notation y1, y2, etc., equivalent to f of x, g of x, and so on. The functions are entered using the key templates and the dedicated x, theta, t, y key. This defaults to the correct variable depending upon the type of function. To confirm, either OK or Execute is used, as these are interchangeable. To enter other types of functions, the viewing setup can be accessed by scrolling. Here, inequalities or functions such as polar, parametric can be selected for drawing. The view window or table domain can also be changed, which we will look at shortly. Use the new back key to return to the function editor, where we can choose how to draw the function. Either scroll to draw graph and select, or use the new right tab key. These tab keys allow easy transition between tabs shown at the bottom of the screen. By default, the view window is displayed before the graph is drawn. This displays the current scale settings for the graph. The values can be changed manually, or preset scales can be used to optimize the display of trig functions or polynomials. The initial settings correspond to the scale settings after a reset. It is not necessary to change the settings now, as they can be changed after the graph is drawn. If you want to draw the graph directly from the function editor, the view window can be toggled off in settings. To change the scales once a graph is drawn, use Tools. This also displays other graph options that we will look at later. Another method for changing the displayed graph is to use Zoom, which has several settings, such as Auto for graphing along the whole y-axis, Square for y-axis 1:1 scales, and in and out. Perhaps a more useful method for zooming is to use shortcuts Add and Subtract to zoom in and out once the graph is drawn. Particularly useful to display incomplete functions. To optimize the displayed graph for analysis, we will set certain values for the scales as follows: -4 to 2 horizontally, and -4 to 4 vertically. Graph&Table has a comprehensive set of analysis tools available, which we can demonstrate now. As seen earlier in Tools, GraphSolve is available and is the main choice of analysis of functions. Roots can easily be found and displayed as decimal values. For multiple roots, scrolling toggles the cursor and points can be fixed to the graph. Further analysis is easily done, for example, max or min values, y-intercepts and intersections between functions, or even graphical integration. Also, ycal can evaluate the function at a point. It may, however, be more efficient to use the trace function. This evaluates at a scrolled point or at values directly entered, even if not shown on the screen. If multiple values are required, it makes sense to create a table of values, which is accessed using the Tab key. This displays the default range of values for all the functions drawn. Tools allows you to easily change the domain or even use a list of values stored in the Statistics app. As you would expect, rows can be added using tools, or additional values can be entered directly and evaluated. Notice that the table is always truncated, and so inspection of values is recommended. Returning to the function editor, we can look at using the modify functionality of Graph&Table, which allows changes of function coefficients to be visually shown. Functions can be entered manually using the alpha key, but there are built-in functions that include the most common formats for polynomials and trig function transformations. When first drawn, the modified function doesn't look correct, but that is because the coefficients are all 0. Using tools, you can change the values in modify, one at a time, allowing comparison between functions. Notice that a residual image is retained to show the effect of changed values. Table can also be used to compare existing and modified functions. Extending the analysis of functions, we can now look at drawing tangents and normals using Sketch. In order to fully utilize this feature, it is necessary to turn on the derivative in Settings. This displays the derivative value when tracing a point, for example. Once a function is drawn, use Tools to access Sketch and draw the tangent at a point. By default, this is at the center of the x-axis. But just as when using Trace, either scroll or directly enter a value to move the tangent. Notice that the dy dx value is also displayed. Press OK to also display the equation of the tangent in decimal form, which allows the tangent to be entered as a function and analysed if required. The normal can also be sketched and defined at the same time, but as you can see, it doesn't appear as expected due to the scales. Use the View window to set square scales and redraw to achieve a perpendicular tangent and normal. Finally, we can look at the brand new Numeric Inequality app. This solves one-sided inequalities in a similar manner to polynomial inequation. If two-sided, then rearrange with care. First, the degree needs setting, ranging from quadratic to quartic. And then the type, greater than or less than, strict or non-strict. Tab to input the coefficients. The solutions are output in decimal list with the region given. We hope that you have found this video useful. If so, please check out our other resources on the Casio Education UK website and YouTube.